أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي رب زدني علما رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح يا فتاح يا فتاح. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you all are doing fine inshallah. Alhamdulillah, today we are starting our lesson 4 of Quran Abasan by Sadia Saad. Alhamdulillah. All right. I'm sure that by now each one of you remember what these are. You have done the complete worksheet. Good job with the homework, mashallah. We did fair bit of practice in the last class too. And then you did all the examples in the worksheet. So I'm sure by now there is no doubt in anybody's mind about these six harfe jar that we learned along with the meanings. Yeah. And I'm really hoping that by now you are focusing and you are training yourselves in a way that the moment you see a noun, you exactly know what is the first thing to do and what are the following steps then that you should take. What are the steps to follow, okay? I am just going to unmute a few of you and we'll go through the basic steps. We'll just go through all the steps that we have learned so far, okay? What to do when we see when we look at the noun first. Look, the moment I say your name, I really expect you to unmute yourself straight away, okay? Make sure that you have adjusted your mics and your headphones and everything beforehand, not after I say your name. You shouldn't start doing it after I say your name, okay? All right, so what is the first thing we do as soon as we look at a noun? In this case here, we will color the tanveen blue. Excellent. And go on. What are we going to do next? We start analyzing it. Okay. So, yeah, I'm not going to write anything on the screen. You go on. Noun, singular, male, common, jar, question mark, a masjid. Okay. All right. Look, if we look at it here, noun, singular, male, common, jar. After this, what did we learn to do? Instead of putting in the question mark, what did we learn to do last time? To find out the reason, the question mark is actually there for the reason of why this is in jar, right? So to find the reason of why this is in jar, what did we learn to do? We learned that we should look back. Okay, what do? We gotta look back. And what do we see here? The reason for the noun to be in jar, the harfe jar. Do we see harfe jar here? Well, there is nothing. There is no harfe jar there as yet. But if there was to be a harfe jar, then what's the next thing then you do? Because of ila? Not yet. If you just go back one step here, ila masjidin, now it's one word or two words? It's two words. So after coloring, what's the next thing we do for two words? We dissect at ila, then we analyze ila. So we write harfe jar here, and then what's the next thing to do? Now we know the reason of masjidin to be in jar is because of ila. So instead of putting in the question mark, we will write because of ila. Alhamdulillah. All right, now what did we learn? We learned that we have now identified a what? A murakkab. What is a murakkab? It's a combination of two words. And which murakkab is this? We learned a name for this murakkab as well. Murakkab jari. Excellent. And how did we identify a murakkab jari? We learned that it is a combination of a harf jar followed by a noun in jar, and that would be our murakkab jari, right? But how did we go about finding it in the juz? Did we start with harf jar? Did we start by looking for harf jar? No, we look for colored noun in jar, then we look back, and then if we see a harf jar there, that's when we know it is a murakkab jari. And once we identify it, how did we learn to then mark it? By underlining it red. Excellent. So now that we know that it's murakkab jari here as well, We can underline it red, and translation is very easy. You have already memorized the meanings, but here it is. Ila masjidin is to a masjid or to any masjid. Excellent. All right. Now, thank you for those who were unmuted. You can go back. I'm gonna have next set of people unmuted now, okay? All right. Now, you go. What to do here? What's the first thing? I need a good speed now, okay? What's the first thing? No, no dissection. First thing, the very first thing, color green color. What green? How are we going to say it? Color the al of an-nuri green. Excellent. And then dissect it. Well, we have just practiced it enough that at by now we are sure that it's a harf jar followed by a noun and jar. It's a murakkab jari. So what can we confidently do now? We can underline it red. Now we are done with coloring. What's next now? Now we dissect at ila and ila harf jar. Excellent. An-nuri. It says just stop doing it's a noun. It's a just leave it's a just go on with the analysis itself. Okay, just no irrelevant words. Noun, singular, male, proper because of al. You have already colored it. We are expert of this by now. And jar, we look back because of ila. And translation here, say the Arabic first. Ilan nuri, to the light. Excellent. All right. And what is next? Who is going to do it? Yes, thank you. Minas Zulumati, color the al of Azulumati green. Now underline it. Underline what? Underline Minas Zulumati. Excellent. Then dissect at min. Min harfe jar. Az-zulumati, noun, and plural. Excellent. How do you know it's a plural? Because of ati at the end. Excellent. And it's plural of zulumatun. Beautiful. And how did you get to the singular again? Just to refresh your memory. We removed the ati. We added the round ta. And then we have to remember we write it here as a common noun in rough. So it is Zulumatun. Beautiful. And it is a female. Excellent. Ati. And then this roundta here. Excellent. It's a female. And then proper. And the case sign. Atu, ati, ati. Excellent. Nasb jar. And we learned now to determine the is it nasb or jar? When we look back, we know that it's jar. So cut nasb. And because of men. And so I want you to do the full translation. Read the whole thing and do the translation. From the darkness. Yeah, we're not going to forget the good. From the darkness. From here. From the darkness. Okay, darknesses. I can see darknesses. We have done this before, all right? So yes, grammatically darknesses because it's plural, but in English, yeah, darkness is correct. From the darkness to the light. Beautiful. All right, well done. Okay, moving on. What do we have here now? Lillahi. Is it one word or two words? Two words. And what are these two words? Li and Allahi. Excellent. Very good. And so what do I do first now? Color the al of Allahi green, but I can't see any al here. This is because I split it. This is my word. This is what I'm dealing with here right now. There is no al. I can't see any al here. So how do I say it? Color the second lam green like this. Excellent. And now do what? We know that it's Li's harfe jar and Allahi following it is a noun in jar. So we are underlining it red. It's a murakkab jari and then dissect it. Li, say it. Li harfe jar. Don't say just harfe jar. Li harfe jar. Allahi. Don't start with noun singular after saying harf jar. Say Allahi. Noun singular male. Okay, good. Proper. Jar because of li. Excellent. And the translation is for Allah. Excellent. Easy. All right. What's next? Yes, who do I have here on unmute? Yeah, go on. First thing, you colored the tanveen blue. Beautiful. And then, no, not the dissection first. It is underline, red underline. Good. Yes, we are expert. Again, I'm calling you all expert by now, okay? Dissecting at fi harf jar, and ayamin, noun, singular, okay, male. Wait a minute. Ayamin. Is it, what is ayamin? Is it singular? Is it a day? You know, maybe we all have heard of this ayame Baid, ayame Hajj, the days of Hajj. So is it singular? Ayam is singular? It's a plural. Excellent. And any idea, any guesses about what the singular is going to be? Yaumun. Good. Excellent. Yaumun is the singular, okay? So this is not one of those plurals where we can see una, ina or something. This is one of those plurals where I'm helping you, okay? Um you can identify them because they're pretty common. All right, even if you didn't know earlier, now you know, Alhamdulillah. Okay, and then it's go on with the analysis. It is common. Jar, it's pretty straightforward. We look back. Jar because of fi. And the translation is in days. In days. Are you sure? Are we missing anything? Are we missing anything in the translation? Hint, hint. In some days. Good. We are not going to miss this for the common nouns translation, okay? In some days. All right. Excellent. Moving on. Alal mu'minina. Yes, Nida, you. Color the al green. Excellent. Red underline for murakkab jari. Yes, you can una, ina, ina. You're confident about it. Good. And then dissect it. Ala harfe jar. Al mu'minina. Noun. Plural of mu'minun. Okay. Excellent. That was quick. How do you get the singular, by the way, again for this one? We haven't done a male plural as yet, so let's just quickly revise this too. How do you get it? We drop the ina. Here we get the singular right there. And then in the analysis, we have to write it in rough as a common noun. So we get mu'minun, beautiful. And then male, proper, una, ina, nasb jar. And looking back, cut the nasb, jar because of Allah. Beautiful. And say the Arabic first, read the Arabic first before translating. Alal mu'minina, on the, we know the translation of moments by the way, but still on the moments or on the believers. Excellent. Okay, moving on again. What do we have here? One word or two words? That's the first question. That's the very first question, yeah? Two words, Lee and Yusufa. Excellent. And what's the first thing to do now? Color what green? How do we say it? Color the first letter of Yusufa green. Excellent, like this. And then we underline it red. You have good. You have done quite a few now to be able to confidently underline them red now. And then dissect at li. Li harfe jar. Yusufa is noun. Okay, good. Singular. Male. Proper, of course. Yes. And what's the case sign? Nasbjar? Why do you write Nasbjar, by the way? I thought it was in Nasb because it's a Maryam type noun. Excellent. And how do you identify Maryam type noun? How did you know that it's a Maryam type noun? because of this single haraka at the end. Excellent. And how does a Maryam type noun behave? Simple answer is every time I ask how does a Maryam type noun behaves, you just say Maryamu, Maryama, Maryama. So Yusufu, Yusufa, Yusufa, Nasb jar. And because if you look back, harfe jar here, so cut the nasb jar because of li. Beautiful. And the translation is for Yusuf. Easy, isn't it? Excellent. All right. Now, this one. What's my favorite thing to say again and again? One word or two words? When in doubt, what do we do? If you're unsure of is it one word or two words, what do we do? We read it. Is it? It's bil huda. It's different from, we have done this noun before, al huda. So it's bil huda. It should give you a hint. What is it then? It's B plus al huda. B and al huda. Yeah, good. All right, what's the first thing to do here? Color the al green of al huda. Good. And we can underline it red. And we dissect that B. B harfe jar. Quick, quick. Al huda. You say al huda before saying the analysis. Okay. Noun singular, male, proper. And what's the case sign? Tell me is it a specific, is it some specific kind of noun here? It is a Musa type noun. Good. And how does a Musa type noun behave? What are the Musa type nouns? They appear the same under all three case signs. Good. So what do I write in my analysis here? Raf, nasb, jar. Excellent. And now how do I determine the case sign? The actual final case sign? We are so used to of doing it now. We are experts already. We are looking back and back. We can see there is a harfe jar. So because of P, what do we do? We cut the rough and we cut the nasb and we are left with jar. Excellent. So now because of B, yes. Again, this was a Musa type noun. It appears the same under all three case signs. But why do we cut it actually? The question is, why couldn't I just leave these here? I know that it appears to be the same. So I could write it here, rough nasbjar, but without cutting, I could write because of P as well. Yeah, I think someone asked in the chat box as well in the previous example that why do we have to cut the nasb? So why do we have to cut the rough and nasb here? I think we had a chat about it before too. Well, the noun appears the same under all three case signs, but at one time it can only have one of these three case signs. Okay. It can appear to be the same. That is why we write all three. But then at one given time, in one situation, it can only be in one case sign at a time. And how do we determine what is that case sign in the particular situation? By looking back. And here by looking back, because there is a harf jar behind it, it can only be in jar because that's what harf jar does to a noun. It changes the case sign of any noun to jar. So the other two would be cut. It would only stay in jar and we write the reason here instead of question mark. Here in this case, the reason is because of the harf jar B. So because of P. Excellent. Clear? And then the translation. We say the Arabic first. Bil Huda. B is with al. So the. And we know the meaning of Huda by now. With the guidance. Beautiful. Excellent. All right. So, Alhamdulillah, everyone has become quite an expert. I'm using this word over and over again because I'm very happy with your performance. MashaAllah, you're doing really well. We are very confident with the translation now. Alhamdulillah, you're fluently doing the noun singular male or proper or common. Alhamdulillah, you are doing very well with the sequence and everything. We are doing the coloring well, alhamdulillah. We are able to now translate the Murakkabe Jaris without the problems. Now, let's just see what problems did we encounter when we were hunting for these Murakkabs in the Juz, the Murakkabe Jari in the Juz. Let me show you one common issue here. If I show you this page, Let me show you a common issue here. I will just highlight it for you. Look at this. What is the problem here? What do you think is the problem here? What were we supposed to do to begin with? I can see that there is a harf jar B here, but how were we supposed to start hunting the murakkab jaris? We have even revised it today. We were supposed to look for a colored noun in jar, and then we were looking back. Here, ghairi is not colored, simply. So there was not even a need to look back here. It doesn't even qualify. The noun doesn't qualify here. It's not colored, so it's just wasn't needed. It's incorrect. Okay. All right. What about this one here? Billazi. What do you think? Maybe this is correct because allazi is colored green. Yeah? No? Yes? Well, look, one part is correct that we were supposed to look at the colored noun. What was the other part? The colored noun had to be what? In jar. Is allazi in jar? Yes? No? Not sure? Let's analyze it. We can analyze it. Let's just quickly, we know how to do the analysis to confirm any confusion, to just clarify any confusion. Here, what is billazi? The first thing we look for, is it one word or two words? It is two words, B and allazi. Okay. All right. So let's just start the analysis. For first, we color the al green. Okay. And then what do we do? We are unsure if it's a murakkab jari, so we won't do the underline as yet. That's what we are about to check if it's a murakkab jari or not. We are going to dissect that B. All right. So B harf jar. All right. Then if you start doing the analysis for allazi, it's definitely a noun because we can see a al. It's singular. Okay. Male. All right. And proper as well. Now what about the case sign? It should be jar because of B. Do we guess the case sign like that? The jar because of B, that comes this one. I can see in the chat box everyone's writing jar because of B, but that's like after the case sign part here. Do we even know what's the case sign first here? Then we'll move on to the reason. And how do we determine the case signs? That's the thing that we have been learning from the beginning. When we are unsure of the case sign of any noun, what do? We compare it with the nouns under the case sign section of the noun chart, right? We have the noun chart with us, our most helpful tool, as we call it. If we simply compare allazi here with the case sign section of our noun chart, can you tell if it matches with any noun there? Do you see any example there under the case sign section ending with the sukoon here? Have we done any noun? Have we marked any noun in the case section that was ending with the sukoon? No, absolutely not. We have not, okay? So we cannot underline it red, okay? Because we simply cannot determine its case sign. We do not have any knowledge of what is the case sign of the nouns ending with sukoon, that look like this. So at this point, we're just gonna leave it, okay? There are many more examples to color red. Alhamdulillah. So let's just concentrate on those that fit perfectly, all right? Like, let's look at some other pages here. Actually, instead of pages, let's look at some examples, okay? I'll show you some examples. We have already colored them in the juz. Like, what is this? Minallahi, yeah. And we know al was already colored. We saw the noun in jar. We looked back. There was a harfe jar, so we underlined it red. And then ila ba'din, yeah. Can you just actually tell me the translation as well? I'm gonna unmute a few of you, and you can translate them. You can tell me what is the translation without the analysis even. You know what is the meaning of harf from here. You know it by heart too, but I have it here as well for your quick reference. Tell me the translation of minallahi, from Allah. Excellent. Ila ba'din, the tanween blue, noun and jar, and harf jar behind it. Ila ba'din. And what is it? To some bad, some we won't skip the common noun impact into translation to some bad. All right, and then the next one, ala hudan. You tell me the coloring. Good, Tanveen, blue and red underline. We have just done a similar one here, a Musa type noun. And the translation is on guidance. On some guidance is also correct. Good. All right, and then the next one is fi zulumatin. Yeah, Tanveen, blue and red underline. It is in some darkness. Yeah. In some darknesses. Okay, look, that would be the literal English translation. We've done it a few times. In some darkness would be correct, all right? So in some darkness. I can still see darknesses in the chat box. All right, the next one, bil haqqi. Good. That's how we color it. Excellent. And the translation is with the truth. Good. Yeah, you know the meaning of it already by now. And Lil Mu'minina, we did a similar one today too. The second lam green, good, and underline red. And the translation is for the believers. Alhamdulillah. See, so all of you were able to translate these without even analyzing them. Okay. Whatever ill mistakes you were making by this point, you made some mistakes in the juz. Alhamdulillah, even then, by this point, you can now translate these phrases directly. Okay. This is a big achievement, Alhamdulillah. So, congratulations on that and well done. Good job. Okay. So, I wrote these phrases here and you could instantly translate them. MashaAllah. All right. Well done. Now, I want everybody to pay full attention. Okay. Let's just look at this. I'm going to display a noun here, this one, and I want one of you to analyze quickly for this for me, all right? That's very easy. We have done this many times. All right. Yeah, color that in green blue. Quickly, noun, singular, male, common, rough, question mark, a book or any book. Okay, good. All right, the next one. This one, do this for me, analyze this for me. The first thing, color the al green, good. Noun, singular, male, proper, rough, good. Question mark, the book. Beautiful. All right. Now, this one. Is it one word or two words? Two words. Excellent. Let's just start with the first one, the one in red. Okay. All right. So, what is this to begin with? You cannot be sure that it's a noun. And you are doubtful why? Because our two indicators, which are a tanween at the end or al at the beginning, they're missing. But we have just analyzed kitabun and al kitabu, and this is so similar that we have some hint that it must be a noun. Okay, so let's just start with the noun. These two are telling me that this must be a noun. Okay, so noun, and this must be singular. And kitabu, we know that this is most definitely a male. Yeah. Up until this point, we are fine. But now the real question is, when you reach here, is it a common or a proper noun? The indicators that I have learned, there is no, for the common noun, I know that there should be tanween at the end. Yeah. And for the proper noun, I know that there should be al at the beginning. Yeah. And I can't see either of these here. So what am I gonna do? Because I can't see no tanween here, no al here, with this kitabu, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna write what I'm seeing here. I am gonna write no al, no tanween, and then I'll just leave a question mark here. That's all I can do, right? And then I'll move on with my analysis. What's the next thing I write in the analysis? I can tell the case sign. That's easy. That's rough. And then the question mark. The analysis is done now. Now it's time to translate. Now, how do I translate it? I don't know if I should be adding a, it's a common noun, or I don't even know if it's a proper noun. So I'm stuck with the translation again. Yeah, so I can't even do the translation. Let's take a look at this separately. All right. So we are looking at this Kitabullahi. All right. Now, from on the basis of all the knowledge that we have so far, the first thing we see immediately here is that it's one word or two words. That's the first thing we ask, yeah. It's two words, definitely two words, not one. It's Kitabu and Allahi. And with this one, Allahi, that's pretty straightforward here. What are we gonna do? We are just gonna color it green. And then what do we do for more than one words? We dissect here, okay? And let's just start with the analysis again. We have just the way we have done it on the previous slide. We have some hint that it's a noun, it's a singular, and it's a male, we know that. And we can't tell, we don't have the indicators that we have learned, so we're just gonna write Noel and no Tanveen, and we're gonna leave a question mark here, and then we know that case sign is rough. So we are going to write that and then our standard question mark. And we move on to Allahi now. Okay, there's no problem here for this Allahi. It's noun, singular, male, proper, jar. And then what do we do after that? We look back. Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that I learned. Yeah. That instead of putting the question mark, when I see this noun in jar, what do? I look back. But there is no Harfijar here. That's what we learned, yeah. When we look back, if we see a Harfijar here, we write then here because of he or because of B or Lee, whatever Harfijar there is, yeah. But that's not here. I can't see any Harfijar here. So what do? I don't have any other option but to leave a question mark here again. Okay. All right. Now, the one thing that I learned of looking back and finding the reason it's not going to work here. So I gotta go back to the question mark for now. All right. Now, how do I translate it? Can somebody translate it for me? Kitabullahi. Can just someone translate it? Try and translate it for me. Kitabullahi. Do you know what would the translation be? Allah's book. Yeah. Or the book of Allah. All of us can agree on this translation, yeah? That this book belongs to Allah, doesn't it? This book belongs to Allah, or this book is possessed by Allah. All right. This book belongs to Allah, or I can say this book is possessed by Allah, or we can say that Allah is the possessor of this book. Okay. No wonder, since this book belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is appearing differently. So, Kitabu is possessed by Allah, and Allah is the possessor. All right, Allah is the possessor of this book. Again, Allah's book, Kitabullahi here, Kitabu is possessed by Allah. Allah is the possessor of the book. All right. Okay, let's take a look at this. Let's look at this noun. Rasulun. We know the moment we look at it, we know that it's a noun and it's a common noun because we see a tanween at the end, which we color blue. And that tanween at the end is telling us that it's a common noun. And how do we translate it? Rasul. And if we look at this, the moment we look at this, we notice this al at the beginning that we color green. And this al at the beginning tells us that this is a what? A proper noun. And how do we translate this one? The Rasul. Yeah. But what about this one now? Rasulu, which has no al, no tanween, but it is this Rasulun with no al and no tanween, but it is followed by a noun, Allahi, which is in jar. These two nouns together, the first one with no al, no tanween, and the second noun in jar, they have a special relationship. Okay. The two nouns again, the first one with no al, no tanween, and the second noun followed by the second noun in jar. They have a special relationship. We translate it as Allah's Rasul. The noun, this Rasulu, is related to Allahi. Okay, clear to everyone? We'll do more examples, inshallah, and you'll see that this relationship can exist with some other nouns as well. All right, let's have a look at this one. Okay, I'm going to unmute two of you here. All right, if one is stuck, the other one can help. Okay, no need to get intimidated. We are just gonna stick to our steps that we have learned so far. What do we do? The first thing we see, first we understand that it's more than one word, it's two words, and we color the al of al akhirati green. And what do? We dissect at azaba. Very good. And we start the analysis of azaba. Noun, good, singular, male. And we're just going to write what we can see. No al, no tanween. And okay, yeah, you someone is saying possessed to write the PSD. Look, first of all, we are never gonna say PSD. We are always gonna say possessed. But for now, let's just see what let's just write what we are seeing here, okay? No al, no tanween, and we are gonna leave a question mark here. And then we go on with our analysis. The case sign is NASB, and then our standard question mark. And then we start with al-akhirati, which is a noun, which is singular, good, and a female. Good job. We're not going to forget that the round thigh at the end, it's a female noun and it's proper and it's jar and question mark. Yeah. Look, what do I do here when I reach this point? What am I supposed to do? What have we learned again? We should look back. Yeah. And when you look back, what do we see here? We see a noun with no al, no tanween, and al akhirati is in jar. Why is al akhirati is in jar? Because what is this noun that has no al and no tanween? This no al no tanween is the possessed noun. I'm gonna write PSD, but I'm never gonna say PSD. It's a possessed noun, and al akhirati is in jar. Why? Because it is possessor. Okay, so the question mark would be then replaced with the possessor. All right, so this is a possessed noun. That's I'm gonna just say possessed. And this al-akhirati is in jar because it is possessor. Okay, again, please note that I am saying azaba as no al, no tanween possessed. I'm gonna say the whole thing. No al, no tanween possessed. But I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna write this is for your ease. Yep, as we have been using the abbreviations earlier, we are going to use this abbreviation, but I don't want any one of you to say PSD, okay? For the possessed one, and I don't want any one of you to say al akhirati noun singular female proper jar PSR, okay? We are gonna say possessor. Again, when I'm gonna analyze again, I'm gonna say azaba, noun, singular, male, no al, no tanween, possessed, nasb, question mark, al akhirati, noun, singular, female, proper, jar, possessor. That's how we're gonna do it. Okay. Now, how do I translate it? The akhira's azab. Okay, yeah, that is one way of showing the possession. There is another way to show the possession. What do we know here? The possession, it's a possession. This azaba is possessed by al-akhirati, and we can show this by adding off in the middle. Okay, the azab of al-akhirati. Okay, azaba is possessed by al-akhirati. Al-akhirati is the possessor of azaba. We can show this by adding this off here. Okay, the azab of the akhirah. And always remember the important thing here is again, I have always been saying, is to recognize the grammatical relationship between the words. If you don't know the meaning of any words, that's fine. Our emphasis is not to memorize the meanings as yet. What did I do over here? I did not use any meaning. I just used the same words, the azab of the akhirah. You already know azab means what? Punishment, and al-akhirati is what? The hereafter. So what would the translation be? The punishment of the hereafter. Okay, let's try another example. What's the first thing I'm going to do here again? Two words. Okay, good. That's the thing that's popped up in the chat box. Two words. Excellent. What's the first thing I'm going to do? Color the tanween blue? No, Nuhin. It's a proper noun. It's a name, mashallah. So, what are we going to do? We are going to color the first letter of Nuhin green like this, and then we dissect it. Qawmi. Excellent. It's easy now to analyze Qawmi. Noun, singular, good, male. And then, um, again, I'm just going to leave a question mark here. I can't see anything. And I move on with I finish the analysis of Qawmi, Jar, and our question mark, and move on to Nuhin. Noun, singular, definitely male, yeah, and proper, that's very clear. And the case sign is Jar, excellent. And then, question mark? No, I look back. This Qaumi has Noal, Noth, and Ween in place of blue question mark. Now we know that this is a Noal, Noth, and Ween noun followed by this noun in Jar. So this is what? A Noal, Noth, and Ween possessed noun. And this now means that this Nuhin here, this is what? What am I going to write here? This is possessor. Possessor of what? Possessor of Qaumi. Okay, this is possessor of Qaumi. And how am I going to translate it? The Qaum of Nuh. What is Qaum? The nation of Nuh. Excellent. We are going to use this of to show the possession, the nation of Nuh. All right. Okay, yeah, I can see uh, the question in the chat box saying, why are we adding the with the nation here when we can't see earlier? Hold on to your thoughts. We're going to talk about it in a sec, all right? The nation of Nuh, or we can also see the Qawm can also be translated as the people of Nuh, okay? All right, sorry, to going back to the question of why we are using the in the translation here, please hold on to your thought. We are going to talk about it in a minute, okay? Inshallah. All right. Now, moving on, see, we did this example. Let me display it on the screen here. We did this example, Kitabullahi, yeah. And then we did the next one, Azab al-Akhirati. And just the last one on the previous slide, we did this, Qawmi Nuhin. In each of these examples, what did we see? We saw the first noun here. It has no al, no tanween, and we call it what? A possessed noun. This was no al and no tanween, possessed nouns. They are possessed nouns. And for the second ones, what did you see was common here? What was the what was the common thing in all these examples? This, each one of these, the second noun is in jar, and we call it possessor. Okay. And what do you think is being formed here? Two nouns coming together. What is being formed? What do we call it in Arabic? A compound word. Yeah, okay. But what do we call a compound word in Arabic? A murakkab. Good. A murakkab. So this murakkab is being formed by what? A possessed noun, which is a no al, no tanween noun, followed by a noun in jar. Yeah. So we have this type of murakkab is different than what we learned in the previous lessons, okay? So here, this murakkab consists of two nouns. The first noun with no al, no tanween, which is possessed noun, followed by a noun which it has the case sign jar. All these are in jar, and we call this murakkab murakkabe idafi. What do we call it? Murakkabe idafi. All right. I've repeated it a couple of times. I'm just going to say it one more time. This murakkab is formed with two nouns. The first noun with noal, not and veen, possessed noun followed by a noun in jar, and together they make a murakkab, which is called murakkabe idafi. You can see the name here, okay? So we have, alhamdulillah, identified a new murakkab. Yeah? And every time we identify something new, what do we like to do? What do we want to, how do we want to mark them in the juz? We want to mark them in the juz. That's the first thing. When we identify something new, we mark it in the juz. How are we going to do it? We are going to color them. Yeah, I absolutely love the coloring part of this course. I really loved it then when I started, and I still equally enjoy it till now. So, what color are we going to pick up for this one? Any random color? No, we are going to pick the dark blue color, not the light one that we've been using for the Tanveen. We are going to use the slightly darker blue color to underline this murakkab like this. You see, like this Kitabullahi, okay? As you can see on the screen here, once I'm able to identify the murakkab, the first noun, no, al, no, tanveen, possessed, followed by a noun in jar, the possessor. Together, when I know that they are murakkab, making murakkab idafi, I am going to underline it with blue, a slightly darker blue than the one that I've been using to color my tanveen's blue, okay? So azab al-akhirati is also going to be underlined, and then the third one that we learned was qawmi nuhin. So that's how we can underline them. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Clear so far? Beautiful. All right, let's do a couple more examples. Let's start off with the coloring as well. Okay. I'm going to unmute a few of you. So, this example you see here, what is this? Yawmiddini. What do we do? We color the al of ad-dini green. That's how we say it. And then we dissected Yawmi and Yawmi. Noun, good, singular, male. And now we know it is no al, no tanveen, possessed. And okay, no al, no tanveen, possessed, jar. And then my question mark here for now, yes. And then move on to adini, noun, singular, okay, good, male, proper. And the case sign here is what? Dini, yes, jar. And we look back. We know the reason of jar is because it's possessor. There is a null note and mean possessed noun behind it. So it's a possessor. And now that we know that there is a null note and being possessed noun followed by a noun in jar, which is its possessor, it is a what? It's a murakkab idafi. Should we color it now? Most definitely. We can color it. In which color? I just told you. What color is that? Was it red? No, it was blue. We are going to underline blue. Yawmiddini. Oops, Yawmiddini, like this. And how do I translate it again? Oh, Yawm I just did today, so I know Yawm is what? Day. So the day of the Deen. Okay, the day of the Deen. It's okay if you don't know the meaning of Deen, okay? The day of the Deen, and it's actually judgment. So the day of the judgment grammatically, but in English it would be correct if we say the day of judgment. All right? Alhamdulillah. All right. Let's have now X and Y unmuted. All right. Now look at this example on the screen. What do? We color the Alaf al-Mauti green and then we dissect at Za'iqatu. Good. Za'iqat dissected Za'iqatu. Yeah, start the analysis. Za'iqatu. Say Za'iqatu first and then noun, singular, male. Oh, okay. Are you sure? Oh, female. Good. The chat box is full of females. Excellent. Why? Because we can clearly see the round thigh here. We're not going to forget it. Good. And it is again no al no tanveen possessed. And it is rough. Okay, all right. I can see in the chat box that why didn't we color it initially? Look, we're just practicing, okay? We are just gonna try a few examples first, just to be very sure before doing the blue underline that it is definitely a murakkab idafi. We have just learned a new thing. Let's do a bit of practice, and inshallah, then once we get to a point where we can be just very confident that we can be sure the moment we look at it, we're gonna start underlining it blue before the analysis as well, okay? Just as per our usual practice. All right. So for now, let's just carry on with the analysis. So rough and then the question mark and then moving on to al-mauti, noun, singular. This one is female as well, yeah? Male or female? I can see the ta here. Beautiful, excellent. This is not the round ta. Excellent. See, this is a great example to see. You can see the comparison of both. This is a male, al-mauti is male. This round ta is the indicator of the female noun. This ta is not. Okay, so you can see both side by side. Alhamdulillah. That's a very good revision, a sort of confirmation. Okay, and then go on. Proper and then jar. And looking back, we know that this is the possessor of the possessed noun. Now we are sure that they are possessed and possessor together. They're making a murakkab idafi. So now we can underline it blue. And how do we translate it? Grammatically, it will be the zaiqa of the mouth, right? But in English, simply because of the linguistic limitation, we say grammatically it's the zaiqa of the mouth for this the, but in grammatically in English we would say the zaiqa is what? The taste, and mouth is al-mauti is the death, the taste of death. Okay? All right, Alhamdulillah, good job. Okay, now we are going to do this one more example. I can see the volunteers here. Good, excellent. Ajral amilina. Excuse me. Okay, first thing first. Coloring the al green. Dissect that. Ajra. Good. Start the analysis. Noun. Singular. Okay. Male. No al no tanween. Don't say just possessed. We are gonna say the whole thing. We are gonna say no al no tanween possessed. Okay. No al no tanween possessed. We're just gonna write the abbreviation, but we're gonna say the whole thing. No al no tanween possessed. And then nasb. Good. Question mark. Moving on to al-amilina, noun, and then, oh, okay. How do you know it's a plural? Are you sure it's a plural? Ina, excellent, good. And plural of what? Alimun? Are you sure? See it closely. It says amilun, okay, amilun, good. Good job. You dropped the ina. You had the singular right there. And then it had to be common and rough. So amilun. And it's male because ina, of course. Yeah. And then proper. And the case sign. Una, ina, ina. Yes, you just said that yourself. That's jar. And then what do? I look back. There is a possessed noun. No, all note and being possessed noun. So this would be jar possessor. So we cut the nasb and it's jar, it's possessor, that's why it has to be in jar. And we can write now possessor. And now that it's confirmed that we have a possessed and a possessor, a null note and being possessed noun followed by a noun in jar, that's its possessor. It's a murakkab idafi, and we can do what? Underline it blue. Excellent. All right. Again, someone just asking in the chat box, why do we have to cut the nasb? We just talked about it today, yeah? When we were analyzing the murakkab jari as well. Why do you think we cut the nasb? The possessor is in jar, yeah? All right. So the first noun with no al no tanween followed by a second noun which is jar. We cannot just let nasb be there and not cut it, okay? When analyzed separately, we know that it appears the same in nasb and jar, but again, it can only have one case sign at one time, correct? And our entire study here, all these practice, all this knowledge is really to be able to decide correctly how and why a noun has that particular case sign in that particular situation, okay? And we have been doing it over and over again. We are deciding it by looking back. And in this situation, in this case, the minute I look back, I see a null nothing possessed noun sitting there, which means that it must be a possessor. And to be the possessor, what is the one condition that I have learned today? One condition it must meet is that it must be, the possessor has to be in the case sign jar. Yeah, which is why we cut the nasb. Get it? Alhamdulillah, we have revised it a few times today, so I hope, inshallah, there wouldn't be any confusion. All right, now time to translate it. We say the Arabic ajral amilina, the, it's okay. We are just gonna use the same words. It's okay. The ajr of the, how do we use the same word in the translation if we don't know the English translation? We use it with the S to show the plural. So the ajr of the amils. Yeah, that's how we translate it. Ajr is actually the reward, and amil, you know the word amal. Amal is the action. Amil is the one who does the action. So the one who do the work, who do the action. So the reward of the workers. All right, that's the translation here. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Now let's do this one. Okay, I already have three people unmuted. Alhamdulillah. All right. Now we colored the al green. We started with the dissection. Dissect at mulku. Start the analysis. Noun, singular, male. No al no tanveen possessed. Good job by saying it properly. No al no tanveen possessed. Rough and then question mark. Okay. Now, as-samawati. It's noun. Plural of Samawatun. Samawatun. Okay. How did you come up with Samawatun? All right, the chat box is flooding with the help here. We have done this before. What is the singular of a Samavati? Is Samaun. We have done this, okay? Samawatun was absolutely correct. The procedure was correct. So good job with that. It's just that this is a little unusual word, okay? This is not, the singular is not Samawatun, it's Samaun, okay? And then it's a female noun. We already know that. It's proper. And it is Nasbjar. Okay. All right. And now I look back. Okay. Nasbjar, why it is in, I thought it was in jar. Why is it Nasbjar? Because of Atu, Ati, Ati. Okay. Look, when we dissect and I'm analyzing a Samavati, I'm analyzing separately, okay? Until this point, it does not matter what's behind it, okay? Only after I get to this point is when I look back to decide that what's the actual case sign is going to be, okay? And when I reach here, I look back, and when I see a null northern being possessed noun, then I'd be able to determine that it has to be injured to be its possessor, and that is when I'd cut the nasb. Okay, all right. Now we are sure that mulku is a null northern being possessed noun, and a samavati would be injar to be the possessor. Nasb is cut. Jar, we are gonna write it as its possessor. And now what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna translate it. No, I'm gonna color the Murakkab-e-Idafi. I can see the Murakkab-e-Idafi confirmed now. So underlining it blue, and then we know the meaning of a Samavati. We have done that, the heavens. So using the same words, the mulk of the heavens, or the mulk means kingdom. So the kingdom of the heavens. Okay? Alhamdulillah. All right. Now look at this. Ashabil feel? No, we are grammar students. Don't say ashabil feel. We are never going to miss the ending harakas, okay? ending sounds. Ashabil fili, okay? We are going to say the complete sound as grammar students. You're not going to make this mistake, inshallah, okay? Ashabil fili. So how do I start? Coloring the al green, excellent. And then dissected ashabi, ashabi, noun, and then singular, singular, you reckon? Ashabi kahaf, you would have heard the story of Ashabi kahaf, yeah? Ashabi sufa, yes, it's a plural, good. And any hints, any guesses of what the singular is gonna be? Swahibun is the singular for this, okay? Again, it's just um, one of the plurals where there is no clear indicator. But from now on, Alhamdulillah, every one of you know that Swahibun is the singular of Ashabin. Okay, Ashabi, here no one knows, no, there's no tanween, sorry. So Ashab, this word is a plural and the singular is Swahibun. All right, and then it's a male and no tanween possessed, jar, question mark, and moving on to al-fi'li noun, good, singular, male, proper, jar. We look back, we see a possessed noun sitting there, so we know that this is a possessor. And now I can underline it blue, excellent, and I can translate it as the ashab of the field. Okay, the ashab of the field. Ashab is, any guesses what would be the translation? It's easy, simple. The people. I can see someone wrote companion. Yeah, it's the people. Okay, yeah, companion could be potentially correct in some context, but yeah, here it's the people of Al-Fili is actually the elephant. Okay, we know the Suratul Fil in last juz of Quran. This means the elephant. So the people of the elephant. That's the translation. Alhamdulillah. All right. Now let's do another example. Again, the question of the look. Hold on to our thought. Let's just do this example, and then I'll explain why we are adding the in the translation. Okay. Now, easy. This is an easy one. Start. Coloring the al green. Good. And dissect it. Amala. Amala. Noun. Singular. Male. Noal no tanween possessed. Nasb. Good. Question mark. And then al mufsidina. Noun. Plural. Oh, I thought it's singular. Oh, ina. Good. Plural. And mufsidun. That's an easy one. We have done this before. Beautiful. Male. Proper. And then the case sign is ina. You have already said that. So nasb jar. And then I just write what here? Possessor. No, what do I do before that? I cut the nasb. Good. Because it has to be in jar to be the possessor of this noun when I'm looking back to see the reason here and to determine what's the actual case sign here. It appears the same in nasb and jar, but the case sign in this situation, because there is a possessed noun sitting behind it, it would be jar here and it is the possessor. And now I can underline it blue and the translation would be, let's just do the literal, let's just do use the same words first. The amal of the mufsids, yeah. Or we just did the we used this word for the amilina. We just did the translation of amilina. The amal is the work, the action or the work, yeah. And you remember this, the corruptors, excellent. So the work of the corruptors, that's a translation, okay? Now, look, you have been asking why we are adding this the in the translation, okay? Why here we also did the amal, okay? Look, we for the common nouns, we did a or any in the translation, right? Common noun is like I say, give me a book. Give me any book, yeah? Give me a pen. You know, any one of you can talk. We can just, that's what we use, a or any. But if I say, give me the book, I'm asking for a specific book, okay? Give me the Quran Abasan book, okay? That when I say that, I want that particular book, correct? Yeah. And we know that al means the, and there is no the here. But look at this. When I say, try and understand it. When I say Kitabullahi, was that just any book that I'm talking about? Any book that's been mentioned here when we are talking about Kitabullahi? Or is it a specific book that we are talking about? Kitabullahi. It is a specific book. It's not just any book. It's just Allah's book, specific book that we're talking about, all right? So that is why we used the with this. Here also, it's not just any amal. It's not just any work. It's actually the amal, the work of the mufsids, the corruptors here that are mentioned here. So not just any amal, not just any work, but actually specific amal or specific work of the corruptors, of the mufsids here, all right? So that is why we are adding the before the possessed nouns, okay? For this question mark, the only way we can determine the reason of why the case sign of a noun is what it is to look back. There is nothing to look back here. So that is why we still have the question mark. Inshallah, when we'll get to that point, we'll know how to solve this, okay? We have reached here, Alhamdulillah. We'll go past this point as well. We'll solve this as well, inshallah. All right, now let's do this example. We are going to color the tanween blue, good. And now you can underline it, good. All right, yes, someone said now we can underline it. Now we are confident. I like it, good. We are now going to underline it blue. We can see that it's a murakkab idafi. Why? Because we can see a novel no tanween possessed noun followed by noun and jar here. And we know that together they make a murakkab idafi. So we can underline it blue. And we are going to dissect that awwali. Start the analysis. Noun, singular, male. Noel, no, tanween, possessed. Jar, question mark. Yaumin is easy again. Go quick, quick. No extra words. Noun, singular, male. Common, jar. Look back. There's a Noel, no, tanween, possessed noun sitting behind. So it's a possessor. And the translation is the first of the day. The first of, this is a common noun, so the first of a day, okay? All right, the first of a day, it's the correct literal grammatical translation, but it doesn't sound right, okay? That's how we've been translating all of the Murakkab Idafi, yeah? This is a little different because Yaumin is a common noun, yeah? We have been using the with the possessor, but this is a common noun here. It's a little different. Um, the correct translation for this would be, let me just show you here, first day. Okay. The little tips that we teach you here, where to add where to add, and how to rearrange it, just like we did the example of instead of darknesses, we have to use the darkness. The literal tips for the translation, they fit perfectly, say 90 to 95% of the time. So most of the times, the tips that we are learning here of where to use the, where to use are, they'd fit, okay? But not always. There would still be some cases where they may not fit, all right? So here also, instead of the first of a day, the first, just this translation, first day is what it's going to mean. It's what is going to be the right translation, okay? Don't worry too much if you end up still writing the first of a day. The more important thing is to understand the structure, and inshallah, eventually, the moment you'll write it yourself, you'll realize that, oh, it probably doesn't make sense. We can make it better. All right, Alhamdulillah. Let's just do this example. Oh, it's an easy one. What's the first thing? Color the first letter of Ibrahima green. Good. And let's just start the analysis first, okay? Dissect at millata. Okay, you want to underline it blue, but let's just analyze this first. So millata is noun, singular, female. Good. I'm glad you noticed. No al no tanween possessed. Nasb, Question mark. Ibrahima is noun, singular, male, proper, nasb, nasb, not nasb, nasb jar. Why? Ah, Maryam type noun. How did you identify? How did you know it's a Maryam type noun? Single haraka at the end. Excellent. And again, I've asked this question earlier in the class too. How does Maryam type noun behave? Maryamu, Maryama, Maryama. Excellent. So nasb jar. And looking back, we know that there is a null nothing being possessed noun, so this has to be jar to be the possessor. So nasb cut the nasb, jar possessor, and now I can color it, underline it blue, and the translation is the Millat of Ibrahim. Beautiful. Millat is actually religion, so the religion of Ibrahim. Okay, now look at the screen. What do you see here? Can any of you tell me what this means? Ibnun. You would have heard Ibnu Maryama. Ibnun means son. Yes, the Ibnu Maryama is the son of Maryam. What about Ukhtun? It means sister. Ukhta Haruna, the sister of Harun. What about Umman? Umman. Okay, most of you know this already, mashallah. Mother. Ummi Musa, the mother of Musa. What about Imra'atun? Okay, someone saying women, wife. Yeah, it's wife. All right. Imra'ata Firauna, the wife of Firauna. Okay. All right. What do you see common here? If you just look at the first noun, first part in these all murakkabs here, what do you see? A no-al, no tanween noun, which we call a possessed noun. Yeah, a no-al, no tanween possessed noun. That's common in all of them. What about this second one? Are you clear that they are all in jar? Yeah. Are they all in jar? These one, Maryama, Haruna, Musa, Firauna. We just did one Millata Ibrahim and on the previous slide. That was a what type noun? A Maryam type noun. Here, Maryama, Haruna, Firauna. These three are Maryam type noun. So there would be nasb jar, and when we'd look back, there would be a noal, noth, and veen possessed noun in the analysis. We'd know that we'd be cutting the nasb, and it would just be in jar. So we are sure about this. What about Musa? It would be in all three case signs. We'll write all three case signs. It appears the same in all three case signs, nasb, the rough nasb and jar. But looking back, we'd cut the rough and nasb, and we'd be left with jar. So we are sure that they are all in jar, and we call this possessor. Yeah. Let's just do an example quickly. Ummi Musa. How do we do that? What's the first thing to do here? We colored the first letter of Musa green, and then we start the analysis. No, we are sure that it's Murakkab Idafi, so we can underline it blue, alhamdulillah. Then we start the analysis. Ummi is noun, singular, male, male or female? What do you think? We just learned the meaning of it. The Umman is mother, so it's female. Good. All right. And then it's the Noal Noan Tanveen, Noal No Tanveen possessed. And then it is in jar. And then question mark. And then Musa is noun, singular, male, proper, rough, nasb jar. We look back. We have already talked about it. We see a Noal No Tanveen possessed noun. So this would be in jar to be the possessor. Raf and Nas, we'd cut them both, the jar, possessor, and the translation, Ummi Musa, the mother of Musa. We have just done it, Alhamdulillah. All right. Now, look at this. We learned the first indicator of a noun was, what was the first indicator? The very first indicator we learned was that it had a tanween at the end, yeah, which we colored blue, and identified that these nouns are common nouns. We identified them as common nouns. First, we identified that this tanween is the indicator of a noun. We colored it blue, and then we learned that these are actually the common nouns. Yeah. Now, common nouns can exist in their individual capacity. Yeah, okay. And what was the second indicator? What was the second indicator of the noun that we learned? Yeah, the second indicator was this al at the beginning, which we colored green. Yeah, these are what? Then we learned that this indicator is for indicate second indicator of a noun, and al at the beginning also shows that it is a proper noun. And the proper nouns, they can also exist on their own. Now, today we learned the third form of the noun, which has no al and no tanween. This is a possessed noun. What is this? This no al no tanween possessed noun. It cannot exist on its own. All right, pay attention. It cannot exist on its own. It requires a possessor. Okay. It cannot exist around like kitabun, that can exist on its own. Al kitabu can exist on its own, but this kitabu, no al note and being possessed, can a noun cannot exist on their own, on its own. It would require a possessor following it, like this. Okay. And what do we know about possessor? Like Allah, He is going to be the possessor here. What do we know about the condition of the possessor? The possessor is always in jar. Okay. The possessor is always in jar. And when we translate, we knew how to translate the common noun, we knew how to translate the proper noun. When we translate the murakkab idafi here, comprising of a possessed noun and a possessor, a no al no tanween possessed noun followed by a noun in jar. When we translate it, the possession is shown by of, good. And we did it another way, Kitabullahi, the book of Allah or Allah's book. So the position is shown by of or like this S, yeah. Alhamdulillah. All right. So how do we identify the possessed nouns? How do we identify them in the juz now? Okay, so how do we identify a possessed noun in the juz now? Yeah, how do we identify that? Look at this. We have already identified the other two forms of the nouns and then the juz, yeah. The two forms, the common noun with the tanween at the end and al at the beginning. So say like hasidin, as soon as we saw it, we have already colored all the tanweens blue in the juz. Now, when it comes to the possessed one, how are we going to do it? Any hints, any idea? Well, we know that possessed noun cannot exist on its own. It is always followed by a possessor, which is in which case sign? Jar, yeah. So what are we gonna do? We are going to look for the colored noun in jar. Okay. And so first we're gonna find the colored nouns in jar, and then what are we gonna do? We are gonna look back. That's a favorite thing to do. We are going to look back. So say the moment we look back, if we see this, Sharri Hasidin, that's it. There we go. We found our possessed noun. And now we can see this is a noal notanween possessed noun followed by a noun in jar. Here it is our what? Our murakkabe idafi. And how are we gonna mark it in our juz? We are going to underline them blue like this. Excellent, got it? Alhamdulillah. Let's look at another example. If we see, so this was like a common noun. If we see this al-kitabi in the juz, we would have it colored like this already. We would see that okay, this is a noun in jar. We can do what now? Look back, and we see this noal no tanween possessed noun. Together, what are they making? Noal no tanween possessed noun followed by a noun in jar. They are making together a murakkab idafi. So what are we gonna do? We are going to underline it blue. Alhamdulillah. All right. So this is like another milestone reached. Alhamdulillah. Let's do some more examples quickly. This An-Nasi, we would have it colored. We look back and we may see what Rabbin Nasi. And this together would be, again, no al no tanween possessed noun followed by a noun in jar. Rabbin Nasi, murakkabe idafi. We'd be underlining it blue. Allahi, this would be colored. We look back. This is Kalam Allahi. Looking back, we can see Kalam Allahi. So they together make Murakkab Idafi, underlining them blue. You can also actually translate most of them now as well, even if you don't know the meaning. Actually, all of them now. Some of them you may not know the meaning of. So Kalam Allahi, the Kalam of Allah. Rabbin Nasi, the Rabb of the people. Looking at the one of the pages of the Juz. Is everyone ready to start hunting the nouns in the Juz? It's an interesting activity, isn't it? Yeah, so we have the page of a Juz here. We know the color coding. What are we looking for? You're looking for Murakkab Idafi. And what is the color coding for Murakkab Idafi? A blue underline. And how are we going to hunt? Where are we going to start? We are going to look for colored nouns. And how have we colored them? What are our colored nouns? What are their colors? The blue and green colored nouns, all the colored nouns. And we are going to see which ones of those colored nouns are in jar, the first thing. And then we are going to look back. And if there is a null note in being possessed noun, that is when we know that they together are going to make Murakkab Idafi and we are going to mark them, okay? Just like we did some examples in the on the previous slide, okay? Can you see any colored noun on this page which is in jar? I can see one. Samavatin. Excellent. What am I going to do now? First, I looked for this noun in jar, a colored noun in jar. Now I look back. And what do I see? Sab'a. So this is a noal note and being possessed noun followed by a noun in jar. So it qualifies. It meets the conditions for al murakkab idafi. Yeah, so I can now underline it blue. Alhamdulillah. Any other one on this page? Just look for the colored nouns in jar. I can see shay'in in jar. Excellent. And I look back and I see what? Kulli. This is Noel No Tanveen, so this is also making a Murakkab Idafi, and we are going to underline it red. Kulli shay'in. Okay, so we are going to underline again clearly like this, both the words, both nouns. Okay, all right. Now look at this page, page number 25. Okay, again the same practice. Let's just keep your eyes peeled for a colored noun in jar. We have Unasin, yes, and we are looking back. Do we have a null note and being possessed noun? Yes, kullu unasin. Beautiful. So we can color underline it blue. And then any other one on this page? Allahi. Excellent. We look back. We found a no al no tanween possessed noun, rizqi. This followed by a noun in jar, rizqullahi. Together are making a murakkab idafi. So we'll be underlining it blue. Okay, any other one that you can see? A colored noun in jar. Wahidin. Okay. All right. I look back. Do I see a Noel North and Wayne possessed noun? Behind it, looking back, I see Du'amin. This is not a Noel North and Wayne possessed noun, so no, this is no good to me for now for Murakkab Idafi. I can't do anything with this. Okay, moving on to page number 38 now. Anyone on this page? Al-Qiyamati, good. And looking back. Yawma, we are familiar with Yawma. Yawm al-Qiyamati, that's al Murakkab Idafi. There we go. Any other one? Al-Azabi, yeah. And looking back, Ashadd al-Azabi, that is no all no tanween. So yeah, together they make Murakkab Idafi as well. And any other one? You sure? You can't find any other one on this page? Okay, good. Let's move on to then page number 45. I can see Allahi. Okay. All right. And I look back. There is indi. So indillahi. That is a murakkab idafi. Another one. Allahi. Oh, kitab Allahi. That's like you have done it a few times today. Alhamdulillah. And then any other one? Any other noun in jar? Colored noun in jar? Sulaymana. How is it in jar? It's Sulaymana. Isn't it in nasb? Oh, it's a Maryam type noun. Alhamdulillah. Okay. So it could be Maryamu, Maryama, Maryama, both in nasb and jar. So I can look back and I can actually see a no al note and being possessed noun. So this is also like Millata Ibrahima. We did that analysis, like Ummi Musa, the Mulki Sulaymana. This is also our Murakkabeda fi Alhamdulillah. Any other one on this page? All right, let's move on to page number 49. Again, the very first one, I can see shay'in. I've already done the same one. On another page, looking back, I have kulli shay'in. Okay, again, as-samawati. If I look back, mulkus samawati. Any other one on this page? Allahi, the colored noun in jar. Looking back, I see duni, noel, no tanveen, dun Allahi. Excellent. All right. And any other one on this page? As-sabili. Yes, that is sawa as-sabili. That is also murakkab idafi. Beautiful. Any other one on this page? Al-kitabi. That is a colored noun in jar. Looking back, also we have a noel, no tanween possessed noun. So ahl al-kitabi is also going to be our murakkab idafi. All right. Now this is page number 52. Qiyamati, yawm al-qiyamati. Yes, that's an easy one for you. Any other one on this page? Allahi, and looking back, Masajid Allahi, that is also quite straightforward, excellent. And then another page I have here is 35, the very first line, Allahi, and we see the colored noun in jar, we look back, we see a noel, no tanween possessed noun, we know that they both are going to make murakkab idafi, and we can underline it blue. And then any other one? An-Nari, yes, looking back, Ashabun Nari. We have done this word today, haven't we? We know about this noun now. And Al-Jannati, another Ashab. We see it again. Alhamdulillah, Ashab al-Jannati. Okay. Any other one? As-Salihati, yes. Okay, this is Atu, Ati, Ati. This is in Jar. But we look back. Is it Noel, no Tanween? Possessed noun? Are we sure? We're not sure? All right, let's have a look. We can just take it out and we can have a look at it. Okay, so this is the noun that we have as Salihati. Whenever we have any confusion, we are just going to do the analysis quickly. We are expert of the analysis now, aren't we? All right. So we know that we have this colored noun in our juz, and this is atu ati ati, so it can be nasb and jar both. All right. And behind it, when we look back, we see this amilu swalihati. That's the word. So if we assume that this is murakkab idafi, what are we gonna do? We are gonna underline it blue, and what are we going to do next? We are going to dissect it, Amilu. We are the word scientists now, aren't we? Yeah. And we go, okay, we think it's a noun and it's probably a singular noun and there is no indicator of female, so it's a male noun. And we are thinking that apparently it's a no, no, then being possessed noun. What about the case sign? Is it rough? Yeah. We are sure about the case sign of this. What is the case sign of this, Amilu? What have we learned? Okay, so a lot of people are saying rough, so I'm gonna write rough here. This one, you are sure that this would be jar. I mean, nasb and jar, but it would be we can potentially cut the nasb, and because it's a possessed noun, it could be jar, and that would be making it a murakkab idafi. But look at this. Just pay attention to this word here. Is it matching with any of the nouns that we have listed in our noun in our chart as yet? The case sign section of the chart, we had the variety of nouns. Was there any noun? Can you tell me what is it matching with? Is it matching with any noun? You could tell me this is a Maryam type noun, this is a Musa type noun. Yeah, what type of noun is this? Can anyone tell? Have we done this type of noun before? No, right? It doesn't match any of the nouns. So if we can't be sure of this. We don't have any knowledge of this. So if we are not sure of this, we are not sure of the case sign, we're just gonna leave it. Okay? This is not rough. We can't tell this is rough just because of this haraka here. This is not matching with any of the words in our case sign section of the chart, so we're just gonna leave it for now. All right? Okay, all right. This is not our murakkab idafi. We are not going to underline it blue. Okay. All right. Let's have a look at another example here. So if you see this, now how do we color it? What's the first thing? Al-Bayyinati. We are going to color it. And maybe we look, you see that this is Atu Ati Ati. It is um, the colored noun in jar. And we look back and we see this Noel Nothenween here, a noun. So we assume that this is also Murakkab Idafi. So we underline it blue. We start analyzing. We start with Mariama. Okay, good. I can already say that I can already see that you all are picking it up in the chat box, but let's just quickly go through it. So Mariama is noun, singular. It's a female, Mariam, yes. Is it a no or no then being possessed noun? You reckon? And then is this in jar? So for them to be Murakkab Idafi together, making them together for them to be Murakkab Idafi, this should be a no or no then being possessed noun, and this should be in jar. But look at this. What is this? Is this a no or no then being possessed noun? Is it? You reckon? It's not. Yeah, it's not. It is a what? It is a name. It is our name that we have been doing it for a while now. We are very confident that this is a proper noun. Okay, we never write proper in the analysis. I've just written it like this to make it really clear to you. This is a proper noun. Okay, this is not a noel note and being possessed noun. So together, it is not possible for them to make murakkab idafi. Okay, this does not meet the conditions that we have just learned about Murakkab Idafi. Okay, this is Nasb, that's fine, but this is a proper noun. So this should be colored how? Like this. This would be colored like this. And the instant we see this, for second, we were looking for the colored noun in jar. The moment we look back and we see another colored noun, another proper noun, or a common noun, that means it's definitely not Murakkab Idafi. We are going to take the line off. We're not going to draw it in the first place. This is not our Murakkab Idafi. Clear about it? Alhamdulillah, okay. Now it seems that along with the scientists of words, we were just doing the dissections and all before. Now we are sort of becoming some kind of detectives as well, yeah. Okay, now I want you to look at this example. Let me just bring it up on the screen. This example, okay? Alim al-ghaibi. All right, it's an easy one. I want someone to do it really efficiently with a good speed. So color the al of al-ghaibi green. And it's murakkab idafi. We are confident no one loath and being possessed noun followed by a noun and jar. So blue underline for murakkab idafi. Dissected alima. Alima noun singular male. No al noth and being possessed. Nasb question mark. Al ghaibi noun singular male proper jar. Look back. So possessor. And how do we translate it? The alim of the ghaib. Simple. But alim, what is alima? Ilm, what is ilm? Knowledge, yeah? So alim is the one who has the knowledge, the knower. The knower, and what is ghaib? Unseen, okay? The knower of the unseen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is alim al-ghaib. He is the knower of the unseen. All right, now, if you look at this, if I write, you pay attention to this here. If I write ilah here like this, will something change? Pay attention. Will something change? Will it stay like ilah alim al ghaibi? Is there anything wrong if I add ilah here? Will it remain the same? It should be what? Alimi. Why? Because of ilah. Excellent. Well done. This is harfe jar here. And what does harfe jar do? After harfe jar, the noun that follows it has to be in jar. It changes the case sign of the noun following it to jar. So this cannot be in nasb. It cannot be alimal ila alimal ghaibi anymore. It has to be ila alimil ghaibi. Alhamdulillah. In such a short time, you can easily point this out. Alhamdulillah. So there would be, so if this is part of it, then what are we going to do next? We are going to do another dissection at ilah. And ilah, what are we going to write under ilah in the analysis? Harfe jar. And then what is going to change here in this analysis? It is no longer, the rest remains the same. Everything else remains the same. What is going to change? The case sign. It's not nasb anymore. What is it now? It's jar. And do we have the answer to this question mark now? Are we finally going to solve this mystery as well? We have already solved it. We're just going to see it in this part as well and this column as well now, alhamdulillah. How are we going to solve it? We are going to look back. It's very easy for us. We have done it a few times. This is because of ilah. Alhamdulillah. So now we know that these two together, what are they making? A harf jar followed by a noun in jar is what? Murakkab jari. So what do I need to do? That's our murakkab. So what do I do? I underline it red, just like I've been doing all the other murakkab jaris red, yeah, like this. Alhamdulillah. All right. So this is actually now the combination of murakkab jari and murakkab idafi. Alhamdulillah. And how do I translate it now? So ila alimil ghaibi, to the knower of the unseen. Excellent. You remember the meaning of ilah is to, and then we have already translated this part. So to the knower of the unseen. Alhamdulillah. Well done. Good job. Excellent. All right. Now let's do another one. Fi dinillahi. Let's start the coloring. So what's the first thing we're gonna do? Color the Allahi, al of Allahi green, and then what do I do next? Fi dini underline red. Really? Okay, tell me, go back to tell me, how did you start identifying the Murakkab Jari in your juz? How did you do that? You looked for a colored noun, blue or green colored noun in jar, and then you looked back and looked for a harf jar, and if there was a harf jar, that's when we knew that it is a Murakkab Jari. But here, Dini is not colored, yeah? Though we can see the hints that it's a possessed noun, its identity is still not established until it's colored. Okay, because we have done it a few times, we know that it is noun and it's a possessed noun. But and because of the previous example, you can confidently say probably already that these two are making a murakkab jari together. But until there is any color on it, the identity is not established. We have to follow our steps. We have to stick to what we have learned, okay? So the first thing to color here that you are absolutely sure of, that there is absolutely no doubt in that coloring. Here there is still a doubt. When there is absolutely no doubt, that is what you're gonna color, and what's that? What are you very confident about? Dinillahi. So this one is already colored. This is in jar. So you are going to look back here. You see a novel, note, and being possessed noun here. Together, they too can make a murakkab idafi. So I can underline this blue. Okay. Now that we have this one identified as part of a murakkab idafi, now the link of dini is established with Allahi. Now we can underline the murakkab jari as well. Now it is sort of eligible as well, to be confidently considered as a noun. And now we can underline fi dini red like this. Okay, so pay attention. This line is not going to be above the blue one. First, it has to be murakkab idafi. When it has some part of some color in it, some color on it, it's been colored, it's been identified, it's been marked. Only then I'm gonna look behind it. And if I see a murakkab jari, I realized it was in jar. Looked behind it, there was a harf jar. Now I know it's a murakkab jari and I'm gonna underline it right. Again, I started with this coloring, colored the Allah of Allahi green. This was in jar, so I looked back. There was a novel note and being possessed noun, so together they could make a murakkab idafi. Then I saw this colored noun, this marked noun already. This is in jar, so I looked back. I saw harf jar, and together they are making a murakkab jari, so I could underline it red. Okay, now we do the dissection. We start at dissect at fi. That's how we're gonna say dissect at fi. Then dissect at dini and start the analysis. Harfij fi, harfij jar, good. Dini is noun, singular, male. No all no then being possessed. We have done that already. This is jar and question mark. No more question mark. Alhamdulillah. We look back and we see it's in jar because of fi and Allahi. We have that should be pretty quick. Noun, singular, male, proper jar. And for this reason, we look back and there's an all note and being possessed noun. It's colored and identified already that this is a possessor. Alhamdulillah. Read the Arabic and try and translate. Fi dinillahi in the deen of Allah. What is deen? The religion. Yeah, in the religion of Allah. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Now look at this example here. Ala tu'amil miskini. Okay, all right. Say the whole thing. All right, we're not gonna miss any sound. Starting with color the al of al miskini green. And good, we are gonna first underline the murakkab idafi here. We can see that this is in jar. Tu'amil miskini. This is Noel, no tanween. Good, all right. So murakkab idafi underline blue. And then if we look back for this tu'ami, we can see a harf jar. So murakkab jari here as well. Dissect at ala and dissect at tu'ami. Ala harf jar. Tu'ami. Noun singular male. Say the full thing. No al no tanween possessed. Jar because of Allah. Looking back, yes, all right. Al miskini noun singular. Is it singular? Really? What about this? Is it not indicating something? No. This is ini. Okay, I thought it was same as ina. Is it not? No, that's una, ina, and this is ini. So this is not same as una, ina. See, that is why it's so important to say the full sound. Okay, perfect, good. All right, male, proper, and again, nasb jar because of una, ina. No, we've already established that. It is just in jar. It's ini. Okay, it's not same as una, ina. All right, jar. And looking back, we know the reason of this being in jar is because this is possessor. Excellent. And the translation is, say the Arabic first, and then the translation good is going to be on the tu'am of the miskin. Yes, simple. That's the literal one. And what is the tu'am? Tu'am means feeding. And al miskini, miskins mean needy. Okay. Miskin is a needy person, all right. So on the feeding of the needy. Excellent. Easy, right? See, Alhamdulillah, you can see, you can translate a combination of two murakkabs. First, you can identify the nouns, the murakkabs, and then, mashallah, you can analyze and translate them as well. All right, let's do this one now. So, starting with the coloring, al of annasi green. Yes, sudur and nasi for murakkabe dafi and fi suduri for the murakkabe jari. Excellent. And dissect at fi, dissect at suduri. Fi harfe jar and suduri is noun, singular. Okay. This is this singular or plural? This, if you read it, fi sudurin nas. We decide we do this surah, we read this surah many times every day. Fi sudurin surah nas. It is a plural. Good. Yes. And plural, what's the singular of it? Sadrun. Yes, sadrun. And it's male. Noel, no tanween possessed. Jar because of fee. Easy. And annasi, noun again. Is it singular or plural? Annasi, we have just done this already today, plural. And the singular is insanun, male, proper, jar, and possessor. Looking back, yeah. And fi sudurin nasi in the what is sadrun? Suduri? So sadrun is a heart, okay? So in the hearts of the people. All right, excellent, mashallah. All right, let's just do this one quickly now. So first thing, coloring the tanween blue, identifying the murakkabe idafi, and then murakkabe jari, and then dissected min, dissected sharri, min harfe jar. Sorry, I won't be saying identify murakkabe idafi and identify murakkabe jari. I'd say underline sharri hasid in blue, underline min sharri red, and then min harfe jar, sharri noun singular male, no wal notin being possessed, jar, looking back, it's because of min, hasidin noun singular male, common, jar, and it's possessive. Yeah. It's very familiar phrase, yeah. We again a part of the surah that we very commonly recite every day, all the Alhamdulillah. It's from Surah Falaq, yeah. How do I translate it now? from the shar of a hasid. It's a common noun, so a hasid, yeah. Or what is the shar? Evil. And what is a hasid? What is hasad? The jealousy, the hasad is the jealous person, the envious person. Yeah. So from the evil of an envier, okay, and because of common noun. All right. Alhamdulillah. Let's do another one. Birabbil falaqi. Falaqi, sorry. So color the al green, and what do I underline blue? The whole thing? No, we know that Birabbi is not one word, it's B and Rabbi. All right, so Rabbi is Noal Noth and Ween possessed noun behind Al Falaqi. So Rabbil Falaqi would be underlined blue. Just pay attention, it's not going to go all the way to B because that's separate. We know harf. And then B and Rabbi together are making a Murakkabe Jari. So B Rabbi, underlined red. And now we dissect at B, at Rabbi, B harf jar. Rabbi noun, singular male, noal note and being possessed. Jar because of P. Al falaqi is noun, singular male, proper. Jar and possessor, easy. Bi rabbil falaqi, P is with. The Rab is the Lord. And what is falaq? Dawn. Okay. With the Lord of the dawn. Alhamdulillah. Okay, now look, I'm sure you remember that I've told you earlier as well that the case sign in Arabic is the single most important thing to learn and understand. Why? Why is that? We talked about it at the towards the end of the last lesson as well. That case sign identifies the status of a noun in a sentence and why it's necessary to understand the status of the sentence, the correct case sign of the noun, because then the translation is based on that actual status of the noun in the sentence. Okay? All right. So in lesson three, last lesson, and today in lesson four, we have learned the reasons for a noun to be in jar. What do we know so far? What have we learned so far? Why does a noun in jar, why do we see a noun to be in jar? What could be the reasons for that? Because the first thing we learned was because of a harf jar. Yeah, like ilanari, we saw that a noun, like a colored noun, it is in jar because of a harf jar sitting behind it. When we look back, there is a harf jar. So that is when we know that it is in a case sign jar because of this harf jar at the back. And we underlined it red, we identified it and we named it as Murakkabe Jari. And today we have learned that another reason for a noun to be in jar could be because it is a possessor, like Azabun Nari. So this noun is in jar. A nari, this noun is in jar, and when we look back, we see a noal noth and being possessed noun, and we know that all right, this nari is the possessor of this noal noth and being possessed noun, and the possessor has to be in jar. So this is another reason that we learned today, and we identified it to be a murakkabe idafi, and we learned that we are going to color code it a blue underline. Okay, so remember. There are only two reasons for a noun to be in jar, okay? One, because of a harf jar, and two, if the noun is a possessor, okay? And we analyzed several examples in the class today. Alhamdulillah, you did very well with all the analysis. Like we did one, Azab in Nari, where the noal, noth, and ween possessed noun, Azabi, is also in jar. We first colored it and understood that it is a murakkabe idafi, and then we learned that this azabi, noal no tanween possessed noun azabi, this could also be in jar because of a harf jar behind it, like this. Yeah, and we that means we found a combination of two murakkabs. We had a murakkabe idafi, and then we saw that we could see a murakkabe jari in the combination as well. So a murakkabe idafi and murakkabe jari. Yeah. So in this is such a perfect combination to see both the reasons of jar very clearly. Okay. This one is in jar. Why? Because this is a possessor, this annari, and why this azabi is in jar? Because of a harf jar at the back. Yeah. So the both the reasons are really evident in just one example, one phrase here, alhamdulillah. All right. So we will now color such murakkabat in the juz. Murakkabat is just the plural of murakkab, okay? So we are going to now look for such combinations in the juz. We have already identified murakkab jari. We have already learned to identify murakkab idafi today. Now let's have a look at how we can identify the combination of murakkab idafi and murakkab jari. Okay? All right, so let's look at page 13. How are we going to go about it? How are we going to look for the combinations now? First, we are going to look for the blue murakkab idafi that's already been identified. And then we are going to look back. We are going to see if the null, note, and mean possessed noun is in jar. We are going to then look back, and then if we see harf jar, we know our combination. Let's have a look at few examples, and inshallah it'll make more sense. Can you tell me a blue murakkabe idafi where maybe the null, note, and mean possessed noun is in jar? Kulli shay'in. Excellent. So here, this is our possessor. This is our null, note, and mean possessed noun, and this kulli is what? It's in jar. And how would we know the reason for this to be in jar? We look back and we see what? This little B, a harf jar that we are well familiar with. So we can now underline it red. We found our murakabe jari as well, alhamdulillah. All right. Now move on to page number 20. Any other one here? Ali Firauna. This one, yes. So this one here. Ali. This is, we have already identified it to be Murakabe Idafi. This one is Noel North and Mean possessed noun being, this is in Jar. And we look back, we can see the Harfe Jar Min. So this is Min Ali Firauna. Excellent. Min Ali is our Murakabe Jari. Now, how did we know that this was a Murakabe Idafi again? Remind me. How did we identify Ali Firauna to begin with? That it was a Murakabe Idafi, when we could see Firauna. What was the case sign for this? What type of noun is Firauna? Yes, Maryam type noun. We identified it because of the single haraka at the end. And then because of our practice, we realized that, because of this null, note, and veen possessed noun at the back, the nasb would be dropped. It would appear both in nasb and jar as Firauna. But then nasb, we would cut the nasb and it would be jar to be the possessor of this null, note, and veen possessed noun, Ali. All right. Do you see any other similar noun here on this page? Yeah, looks like I missed this. This Israela. Yeah, this is also Maryam type noun. So this could also be in jar to be the possessor. If I look back, Ya Bani, now I know Ya is a separate word. We have seen Ya Musa earlier as well, remember? And this Bani also has no al noth and veen. So this may look like Murakkab Idafi to some, like this one here. Let's have a look at it separately. If we take it out, we start the analysis. First, we color the first letter of Israela green, and then we start the analysis. Dissected Bani. This one we can see, we are sure of it, that like Maryam, because of being a Maryam type noun, the case sign for this would be nasb jar. But if we do the analysis of Bani here, noun, singular, male, and we think that it's because we can't see no al or tanveen, so maybe if it's no al, no tanveen possessed noun. What about the case sign now? It is ending with sukoon here. Which noun does it match with in our case sign section of the noun chart? Does it match with any noun there if we compare it with the chart? No, right? So we leave it. This we are unsure about it. We have already talked about it. If we it's just beyond our knowledge to identify its case sign, we are unsure of this. Just leave it. Okay. So no, this is not going to be colored. Alhamdulillah. All right. Okay, yeah, this big cross. I've already told you this is not going to be colored. This is just to reassure you that this is wrong, okay? Alrighty. Um, let's have a look now at this page 25. What are the colored nouns? What are the colored murakkab idafis that we can see? Oh, rizqillahi here. Yes. Okay, and rizqi is in jar. And look back, we see a harf jar min. So mir rizqi together are making murakkabe jari. Excellent, excellent. Good job. We are going to look at page number 26 now, quickly. Okay, ayatillahi and bi ayatillahi and ghairil haqqi and bi ghairil haqqi. Yeah, we are going to talk about this. We are going to underline them red. Okay, sorry. This one here, ashaddil azabi. And if we look back for this noun to be in jar, the reason is the harf jar behind it. So ila ashaddi is again a murakkabe jari. And here again indillahi. Indi is in jar clearly. And look back. We see our beautiful harf jar. So min indi again. We found another one. Beautiful. All right. Any other one on this page? Mulki Sulaimana, excellent. And Mulki, we have done Mulkus Samawati probably today. Yeah, we've done this Mulk. What was the meaning of Mulk? Kingdom. Yes. So Mulki Sulaimana, this is in Jar here, and then Harf Jar behind it makes it Murakkab Jari. Alhamdulillah. See, we can hunt so many of them now, mashallah. Okay, 49. Yeah, the very first line, Kulli Shay'in, and we look behind, we look back, seeing Kulli in Jar, we look back and we see a Harf Jar ala Kulli, that makes it Murakkab Jari. Dunillahi, another one. Min Duni, yes. Okay, excellent. So, mashallah, you were able to identify not only Murakkabe Idafis today, but combination of Murakkabe Idafi and Murakkabe Jari as well. So excellent, good job. It's pretty interesting, isn't it? Bit by bit, we are moving forward and Alhamdulillah, learning a lot of new things and understanding a lot of new concepts. Alhamdulillah. All right, now comes the assignment time. What is the very first task for you to do? We are going to color and complete the worksheet first, okay? I've said this before and I'm saying it again. It is very important to follow the order of different tasks in the assignment slide. Do not think that, I have written this on number one for no reason. There is always a reason for it, okay? So do color and complete the analysis of your worksheet examples first before you do anything else. All right, this is the glimpse of your worksheet. You would definitely be getting it in your Google Classroom. So this is, you'll see different variety of it. We have done a lot of them in the class already, or very similar ones in the class already, alhamdulillah. So hopefully there won't be a problem, inshallah. Okay, all right. Once you are done doing your worksheet, then you should move on to find the examples of murakkabe idafi in your juz. And what color have we learned to do for them? How are we going to mark them? We are going to underline them blue. And how are we going to look for murakkabe idafis? We are going to look for the colored noun in jar and we're going to look back. If we see a null note and possessed noun, then we're going to underline it blue like this. Okay, I am going to make it easy for you. Instead of looking through all the 63 pages, I am going to give you the page numbers and I'm also going to give you the number of Murakkabe Idafis that you're going to find on every page. All right. So this is going to make things really easy for you. So if there's only one on certain page and you find it, then you can sort of move on. All right. Alhamdulillah, you have done a lot of practice. Inshallah, it would be very easy for you. So this is what it's going to look like. You will have a page number. So for example, page 18 will have two Murakkabe Dafis. Page 60 here. So all these page numbers, you just go on to these page numbers and find the marked number of Murakkabe Dafis on that page. Inshallah, it would be very quick and easy for you. Okay, excellent. Once then you are done with this activity, this assignment at point two, then what are we going to do next? What did we learn after that in the class? What was the order in the class? Once we know that all the Murakkab Idafis are identified, then we are going to look at all the Murakkab Idafis and we are going to look for a harf jar behind them. Yeah. And then we know that there would be combination of Murakkab Idafi and Murakkab Jari, and we are going to then color the Murakkab Jari red as we learned in the class. Like for example, if we see Rizqullahi like this in the juz, and we look back, this is also in jar, we look back and we see min, the harf jar, How are we going to underline it? We know that mir rizqi, they together they are forming murakkab jari. How are we going to underline it? Red underline, and make sure not here, below the blue line. We have already talked about it, yeah? Like this. Alhamdulillah. All right, any questions? Alhamdulillah. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.